Yes, friends. In this video, we have to discuss about the how to total with the filter and filtering the data. We cannot use the sum function directly, so we have to difference between the sum function and using of this function. What is the difference between the simple value for the data value for the filter function, and why we are not using the filter function with a sum function? We can check here. The value is a subtotal function. We can use the subtotal function in between of use this. So make sure that you have to use this functionality on the subtotal. So we have to use the subtotal with this value. So we can do with everything with your subtotal functionality. So make sure that you have to do with the subtotal functionality. So we can work with the subtotal functionality and we can work with the functions. Now you can check here. This is your Excel file. With sharing of your Excel file, you have to see here, this is your data, and now I am putting here the quantity also. Here is a zero quantity. If I am not putting the zero quantity, then I will putting the 560, 590, 520, 250, and 600 and 700 value, right? In this value we have to plus from this value plus this value, so we have to put this value. Now in this video we will do further particularly how to work with the total value on the using of a filtering value. So you have to do with this filtering of this value. So we have to difference of this one. Here is a quantity is a reference value, because this value we have to do the this one value. It's referencing of the filter value, so it will be coming from the negative value. Now you have to clear about that first step. We have the some limited functionality. Limited functionality, it means that what if I am doing with the filter with sum, it is work or not? Yes, it is work or not. Sorry. We will use the functionality with a filter value. Sorry for that. So filter with the subtotal functionality. So we can do this functionality with using of this one value. Now we have to do the first functionality. First is, what is your functionality for this one? We have to do this. For example, if I am doing from the month, and the month is only for June value, you can put out here. If we have a add the column, add the row, we have to control plus. Now we have to sum of the sales before tax, sales tax, and sales plus tax. Sum of this value for the number of for example, if I am have no any criteria, for example, then after we have to do with the sum value, we have to do with the sum and the sum of this particular values, and we have click here. Now we have a drag the functionality. Now you can see here the sum value, here the month value, you can see here the June functionality. And okay, for this then you have to do this, the June functionality, the sum value is will not change the value. It means that sum is as it is. If the data is big data, we are working with the whole the sales plus tax data, then the then the work with this one. And if it is doing with the some data, it will be also same as it is. Then if you want to go for this data, then if we it is working with the data, on this data, how to work the this one value. Yes, if I am doing the if I am doing the subtotal, yes, here is a sum. So sum is particularly, so sum is not working with the filter command. Now I am using the subtotal functionality. Subtotal, here you can see that one is a average, second is a count, third is a count, fourth is a maximum, fifth is a minimum, sixth is a product, 9 is a sum, 10 is a variation, 101 is also average. Here is 1 is average, 101 is average, 102 is count a maximum, minimum, and 9 is product. You can see here we can put out the 9 value and 9, and we have to sum this value. Now the sum this value, we have to drag this functionality here. Now we will using from this one, we will put out this value on the basis of only for June. You can see here June total is different. Now you can see here total is now changeable. So make sure that at that moment total will be changed from your side. So total is changed now. So you can do for the total also. If I'm using here, first we will using subtotal 9. Second, if I'm using here subtotal 109, then first we will month is all the value, and here we will add the 109 and total of the all the value. So you can see here this is a total, and if I am doing this the month and only June data, you can see here only June data is coming from your side. So only June data, sales before tax, sales plus tax data is coming from your side. This is, now you have to clear idea about this one. There is a no particular difference between 9 and 109. Then why we use, in which cases we will use the 9 and which cases we will use the 109. That is a main difference. In some cases we will use the 9, in some cases we will use the 109, but in the both the cases result will be perfect. So 9 and 109 both the functionality is same. Question in our mind, I think so 9 and 109 both are same, then the functionality is different, I think so. So make sure that both the functionality is different at that place. We will be use this functionality. For example, if I am doing from here and doing from this value, for example, if I am doing here, then what is the difference basically? Then press F1. I go for the subtotal function. Then what is the description of the subtotal? Here is a 1, 2, 3, 101, 102, 103, including hidden values and ignore hidden values. That is a main difference between 1 and 101. This is including hidden value. Hidden value, it's included in this value. And this is a not ignore hidden value. It means that ignoring this value. It will ignore, if any value is hidden, then it value is a not a total. Here is a 9, 1, here is a quarter average and sum function. If I am doing the average, then I will be use a subtotal and 1. For example, I am doing with the 1 functionality and go for the whole the reference value, H3 to hold the sales plus tax value, then I will do this value. This is sales before tax, sales plus tax with the 1 value. 1 is what? 1 is your average value. For example, it is called as the average. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is all about the value. Which one you are selected. At this type of value, you will select this value. This is called 1, 1 and 1 value. If I am doing this value, you will delete this value. Now I am done with 9 and 109. We will done with the 109 also. Hide this value. Now subtotal 109. Then we will use this functionality. The total is, then first we will difference between 9 and 109. If the total is between the number, so you have to clearly idea about this one. Now to unhide the value, unhide the columns all, and unhide the row also. Now, what can we do in this file? First, it is an here we will put the sum of subtotal, subtotal of the 9 and total value of this one, right? Now the total is this one. Now we will use the subtotal 109 and we have to putting this value on this one. So both the value will be same. But in some cases you have to do this. We will hide the value. At that time here is a total 9 is the same as it is, but in a 109 it will be changed. So make sure that whenever you are hiding the value at that time you have to work with the 109 whenever working with your data than working the data in the particular value on the particular data. Now what we do for this one, this is called as a subtotal with using of 9 and 109. Okay. uh, Now you want to clear about this one. This is a value and here is a value of the 5000 and we will check the particular value if the data is not in a table. Design tab, not in a convert to the range. If it is not to the alter semicolons, select all the data, alter semicolons. If I'm select this, find and replace, go to spatial visible cell only, and but here is not any data filter. Here is a filter of the January on, alter semicolon. This is a split the data, home, go to spatial, then visible cell only, and this one is data is a semicolon for this one. Then copy the data, and if I'm posting here control V, then it is only posting this value. Copy the data. If I'm copy the data and putting here from using of left operator, it will be not putting here. So we will check here. It is a visible cell only. You can see here. Whenever we will click on month first, only June, you can see here this one is value, then alternate semicolon, this is a split all the values. Now we will select this one value, then find and replace, go to spatial, visible cell only, alter semicolons, ultimately visible cell only, and we will copy this value and put here is control V. If I am putting control V, that is a multiple selection, so the control V is not possible. If I am pasting here alter semicolon and here is left hand side column, from example, if I'm putting here fail and left, then it will be not a directly left value you will use. We can use the different operator. We can see it alter semicolon operations, but we can see it. Now you want to do with the table command. In the previous session we have discussed this. Second way we can discuss in the values. Now substitute function, text, old text and new text. If it is a text, it will be compared with another text, old text and new text, that is called as a substitute function is also we will use when we have a data. substitute data. For example, we have to do with the substitute function with the function of the VLOOKUP also. Substitute function, we have a substitute spal and trace value, and we have to help this value is a substitute value. We have to find out text, old text and new text, replace with the old text. As if for example, here we will write down needy, then old text of the needy we will write down for anything. We have to data substitutes sales and cost. Sales A2 is a sales data. So sales data, it will be considered as a cost data. So substitute is a cost data. If A3 is a 1, for example 1, it will be 2 and 2, and if it is a instant number is a optional with specific occurrence. Old text is replaced with a new text. This is an instant number. The one with the compare with the 2, that is a called as an instant number. Substitute third instant of 1, quarter 1 2011, so it will be considered as a quarter 1. And second is a quarter 2, it will be considered as a quarter 1 with 2012. Here is a when A4 is our particular substitute third instant of 1, it will be considered with a 2, so it will be considered with 2. third instant third instant of 1, it will be considered as a 2 value, so it will be compare with the 2 value. Here is a substitute of the first instance is a 1. Third instant 1, it means that here is a 1, 2 and 3. This is third instant of 1. So this is a number. When we have a multiple one, you have to go the instant number also. So you have to put out the value on the instant number. Now we can check this instant number also. We have to do substitute. For example, here we will old text is for example 1, but 1 is on new text is a 2, but it's in a second instant. So now you have to check that this is a general format. We have to consider as a short date, but it will be not a consider as a short date. So we have to convert into the short date on which functionality. For example, we want to use the text this and lady y 60/2021. This is 6/01/2021 date. This is a date it will become, but here we will write down m3 is our value, mmddyy. So here it will be changed the substitute value. For example, we will write down the date on the substitute function, so we have not any issue about the substitute function. Substitute, for example, text I am write down first I, for because I is on two place. Old text is what I, new text is, sorry, it's a small I. If I'm writing down I, second E, if I'm writing here E, then new text is what, second DE, new text is what, B, for example, and instant name E is in second place. You can see here second B, second instant the value it will be changed. This is called as a second E value. You can see here second E value, it will be changed here. Now you have to clear idea about this one. Now we will do with substitute function with a date also. We can write down the value here 06/02. old text is what? 2. In which places we will be change? We will change the 1. In which place we will be changed? If instant name is to first, second and third position, it will be changed. Now third positions, the value name is 6/2/2011. Now the value is changed. Now you can see here particularly why the value is changed on the basis of this one. So you have to change this particular value on this basis. So you have to use this value on particular date format. This is called as a substitute of the function. Whenever the substitute of this function, you have Excel have a lots of functionality. So we have any functionality on the basis of any value. So we have to put out this value of substitute function. With using of substitute function, we have to use this function. Now you have to do with this functionality. So we have to easily idea about this one. So we can do with this functionality. So with using of substitute function with old text and new text, hold the column on the value. So select this value on the basis of this one. Now this one is a clear on the basis of this value. Now here is whenever the sales before text is maximum, on that value you have to put out the particular data row. Select the data row equal to of which one is for your starting point. We have to put out the starting point equal to of first we want to color on which cell. For example, we will color on invoice number. So conditional formatting, new rules, use formula determine equal to sales plus tax equal to maximum of $J to $J. It means that what we can understand easily, but we have to first create a criteria. We have create the criteria, new rules, and we have to clear the $J3 equal to of maximum of $J to $J. First formula we have to go for the value of the $J $3. In this criteria we will find out $J3. This value is maximum value in the Excel sheet also. In this parameter, on the basis of sales before tax, I want to highlight the particular invoice number. This one is maximum. Otherwise, sales, we have to find this value. We have to find out this value. On the basis of this value, we have to select the invoice number also, right? So now we have to clear all value, clear all format, and convert to the text. In the first parameter, we have to use $J $3. It's been that we will select only this value. In the second criteria, we have to put out $J3. It means that $J is fixed and third number of column is not it will be changeable because next value in J4, J5, J6, J7, J8, all this level. So now we will select the invoice number. Now we will go for the conditional formatting, new rules, determine to which cell format. Now we go for the equal to parameter, equal to $J3, equal to maximum of $J to $J. Now you can see here this value. We will select this value and OK button. So maximum of this value according to his invoice number is highlighted. This is called as conditional formatting with using of custom data parameter. So you can use this custom data parameter with using of conditional formatting easily. Now we want to this data and we want to this value is highlighted. Now we will use the value is control shift al is a shortcut key of this filtering, and this filtering we will use the filter by the color. This is red color. Now you can see here maximum value on this particular value. You have to find out the maximum value. So one column basis we have to find out another column. So we can find out easily one column basis to the another column. So we have to clear idea about this one. So make sure that whichever formula you will be used in futures. This is called as a conditional formatting. On the basis of conditional formatting, we can find out, we can create our own formula also. We can clear all color also, maximum, minimum, count, average, all this formula we will use this conditional formatting. In this rules you have to, in my rules I will be use this clear selection shell. In a my rules we will be use this for example I will be use this maximum value. You can use the minimum, maximum, average, all this value you can use. This is not predefined value, you can use only maximum value, but my criteria is that whenever the sales before text is highest, on that basis you have to highlight the invoice number. So on the basis of the sales before text you have to highlight the invoice number. So you have to put this value on the basis of the sales plus text. Sales before text you have to put the any criteria. Now you can use this criteria on the basis of this one. Okay friends, thank you. We will show in the next video for